Welcome to AI Explains. Today we're diving into a document that really, it draws a line in the sand for the history of medicine. It's the paper from the New England Journal of Medicine published right at the end of 2020, December 31st, and it details the huge trial for the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine.
It really is a historical snapshot. We're looking at a science experiment on a scale that's it's kind of hard to wrap your head around. Over 43,000 volunteers.
Wow.
And the entire goal was to answer one really high-stakes question. Can we teach the human body to fight a virus it has never seen before using a brand new method?
I want to stick on that scale for a second. 43,548 people. That's basically a small city.
It is.
So how do you even run a test that big and keep it fair?
It all comes down to a very, very strict coin flip. This was a randomized blind trial. That means the volunteers were split pretty much exactly in half. One group got the real vaccine, BNT162b.
And the other half?
The other half got a placebo, just saline. So salt water.
And when you say blind, that means nobody knew who got what, right?
Yeah.
Not the patients, not the doctors.
Exactly. Nobody knew. And that's critical because it eliminates bias. You don't want people changing their behavior because they think they're protected. So everyone got 2 doses, 21 days apart, and then they just waited.
Okay, but the group that got the real thing, this wasn't a traditional vaccine, was it? We're not talking about injecting a weakened virus here.
No, not at all. This was the global debut of mRNA technology. You hear that term, mRNA, all the time now. But what's actually happening is, it's fascinatingly simple.
Break it down for us.
Think of old school vaccines, like showing the police a mugshot of a criminal.
Okay, so they know who to look for.
Right. But mRNA is different. It's more like an instruction manual. It sends a message to your own cells that says, hey, build this one specific thing, this spike protein. It's basically teaching your body to print its own wanted posters.
So your immune system sees these posters, learns the bad guy's face, and gets ready for a fight.
Precisely. And once the lesson is learned, the body just shreds the instruction manual. The mRNA is gone, but the memory, that stays.
So they sent the instructions to half the group, salt water to the other half. Then they sat back and counted. What did the scoreboard look like?
The split it was shocking, honestly. They watched to see who developed COVID-19 with symptoms. In total, 170 people in the trial got sick.
170 out of more than 40,000. So how did that break down between the two groups?
It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Of those 170 people who got sick, 162 of them were in the placebo group.
Wait, 162? So that means out of the tens of thousands who got the real vaccine,
Yeah.
how many got sick?
Only 8.
8. 162 to 8. That is a massive blowout.
It works out to 95% effective. And you have to understand, a good year for the flu shot might be, 40 or 60%? Hitting 95% with a new technology it was unheard of.
And what about the really bad cases? Because getting the sniffles is one thing, but avoiding the hospital is the real goal.
Right. And that was maybe even more important. There were 10 cases of severe illness in the whole trial. 9 of them were people who got the salt water.
And the vaccine group.
Just 1.
I was looking at the charts in the paper and the lines. They split apart so early.
It was incredibly fast. The protection starts showing up just 12 days after the first shot.
Wow.
So the wanted posters were already working before the second dose was even in their arm.
Okay, but there's no free lunch in biology. If you're waking up the immune system that aggressively, there have to be some side effects, right?
Oh, absolutely. Safety is the other half of this. And you're right, it wasn't a walk in the park. People definitely felt it. Sore arms, headaches, fatigue.
That makes sense. But there was a weird detail in the safety data that surprised me. I figured older people would have had it rougher.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But it was the exact opposite. Younger people, so those from 16 to 55, they actually reported more side effects than the volunteers over 55.
Why is that?
It's probably because their immune systems are just more robust. They reacted more loudly to the message. That headache, that's the sound of your immune system gearing up for war.
So feeling kind of lousy was actually a good sign.
In a way, yes. It meant the message was received. But the most important thing was that over 2 months of monitoring, no serious safety concerns were found.
This whole deep dive just shows that this wasn't just a trial for one vaccine. It was a proof of concept. 43,000 people proved that sending a genetic message works.
That's the key takeaway. It validated the whole platform. This is never just about COVID. It proved that if you can write the code, the mRNA, you can turn the human body into its own medicine factory.
Which leaves us with a pretty incredible thought. If we can train our bodies to fight a virus just by reading an instruction manual, what happens when we change the instructions? What other diseases could we teach our bodies to beat without ever using a traditional drug again?